In Altoona, Pennsylvania, my old stomping grounds as a kid. And right now we are up at Prospect Swimming Pool. Prospect Swimming Pool is only a couple blocks from our house. So this is really cool. This is so surreal for me because I grew up here. We'd come up here, my buddy and I, Ed Askey, would meet him. I'd meet him up here, and we'd come up with our boom boxes, and we'd lay out a blanket and we'd play the same radio station, or we'd play a cassette or something. Cassettes, right? And we'd bring all the girls around us. Hey, when you're 12 to 15 years old, that's pretty much all you think about. But it was a blast. We'd set up right here in this lawn, and we would enjoy swimming, enjoy the park, and just walk around the streets. That's what we did. So very, very busy. So that was, let me see, I'll be 60 in September. This was 50 years ago. 50 years ago, folks. Is that crazy or what? Pretty cool, isn't it? Here's an old cemetery we used to walk through right here, right across the street. That is so neat. Prospect Swimming Pool. Thought you'd enjoy some memories with me. Take care. See you on the next video. Okay, so we're up here at Lenny's Classic Car Collection in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and happened to stop by and see my stepbrother, which was awesome, Wayne. And these are some of the classics. Rolls Royce. Look at these Rolls Royces. Unbelievable cars. This is is it Alfa Romeo? Oh, this is an Aston Martin. This is an Aston Martin. No way. Aston Martin V8. Look at that car. Look at this. Holy cow. That is insane. Look at these floors. Look at the marble floors. They're like, you don't even want to walk on them. Look at this. He has $500,000, $1 million cars in here, honey. Isn't that unreal? Look at this Thunderbird. Wow, that's impressive. That is so crazy. Rolls Royce, MG. Look at that.
Yeah, we got a lot of them.
Man, you do, bro.
Yeah, 6 of them out there.
Are you serious?
In the trucks area.
Look at this. Wow. Mind if I get a video of you real quick? Honey, take a video. Take
your video.
Just hold the video. Just hold it. Just keep here. Hold it over here on the side. Just keep the side clear of your fingers. Yeah. So this is my brother Wayne. So the situation here is my dad married his mom, and they moved to Florida with their boys.
Yes.
And my boys, well, my brothers, and we all moved together in the same family. I taught Wayne how to ride a motorcycle. And I remember when you bought your first motorcycle.
Yep.
Now, what's the worst memory you have of your motorcycle ride?
Going down Clearwater Beach on that, coming out of Clearwater in that
Shut
Metal
off.
Creek Bridge.
Metal Great Bridge in
Yep.
Tampa.
In Tampa.
That's okay, just tap it. Tap the screen. It's just showing the screen shut off.
Yep.
So the metal bridge, it was in the rain.
Yep.
And I remember we had talked about that, but an unexperienced rider, if you hit your front brakes at all on a metal bridge, or you move around and slide, it'll put you down like that because it's like black ice. So anyhow, pretty bad collision. It was pretty tough. Thank God we saved the bike, saved you. You were fine, right?
Yep.
A little beat up, but you were what, 16, 17 years old?
16 or
16,
17.
17 years
Yep.
old. So yeah, man, this is bringing back a lot of memories of my brother. So
Yep.
I just wanted to stop by and say hello to him. My wife and I are up here in Altoona for a couple days, and we wanted to stop by and give him a little surprise visit, show you some of these beautiful, gorgeous cars that his boss has. Is this Lenny over here?
That's Lenny on the wall there with his wife.
Okay, just real quick, I'll just show you. I'm going to share with you these videos too, bro, so you can see them and have them. But this is Lenny and his wife. That is so cool, man. So beautiful. Well, bro, nice seeing you again, man.
Yep.
God bless you, bro. We're going to let you go. I know you're busy, so. Just for reference for the video, Wayne, what is this now? What year is
That's
it?
a 1951 Bentley Mark 6 drop head coupe.
Holy cow. That is so beautiful. So this here, folks, is going to a car show, or they just came back from one. And this is absolutely pristine, just beautiful. Now, what would something like this be worth in the collector's market? Just a ballpark.
And the condition it's in, right around 500,000.
Really? Holy
maybe a little
cow.
more. Yeah.
My God, that is so beautiful. There's not a single mark on this car. Here's some more cars in the tractor trailer. This is the trailer part of the tractor. It's a Jaguar convertible. Wow, this is a double decker too. This is a double decker trailer too, right?
Yep.
So there's cars above it.
We got 3 up top.
No way. Holy cow. That's incredible, Wayne. Wow, look at that, man. That's unreal. They are so freaking beautiful. There's a Jag, huh?
Yeah. A good name to have at the time.
Oh, right. Huh.
So
yeah, that makes sense.
they were kind of losing their business, losing their asses. Couldn't
Really?
sell a car.
No kidding.
Ended up in 1938. They said, enough's enough. We can't. We're gonna have to go out of business, or we got to
Really?
do something. So they changed their name to Jaguar.
No way.
Yep.
Are you serious?
Yep.
That's interesting, man.
That's $1 million car there.
$1 million car right there, honey. Holy cow. SS1, that is so funny, man. Now, this is not a rumble seat. What do they call this?
No, that's actually a toolkit.
Toolkit, okay.
And a trunk, trunk stuff.
That is so cool. How do you keep things from rusting, man, just over the years? I mean, is there a polish or
Just
coating?
Yeah, polishing.
Lots of work, huh?
Lots of work. A lot of hand scrubbing.
Wow, I bet. I bet. Oh, wow, what the heck? That's an Aston Martin, right?
Yep. That's a DB7.
Lord
Convertible.
Jesus.
That's the very first DB7 convertible ever made.
No kidding. That is so
Car
incredible.
number 1.
Cars are so fascinating to me. I've always loved the old classics. Well, it's when they made them, you know. It's when they were quality,
Right.
you know. Now it's all about production. Then it was about, you know, a unique signature, you know.
There's a 57 Thunderbird up there.
Is that pink?
Yes.
Like a light pink? Wow.
It's called Dusk Rose.
No kidding.
It actually has a rumble seat.
Light pink Thunderbird, honey. Second floor. I don't know if you can see it. See it?
Yeah.
Look at that. That is unbelievable, man. Bro, thank you so much for giving us a little tour of this. That is really spectacular.
Yeah, that
Impressive.
one on top's a 58 Jaguar XK150.
Wow.
It's been 4-time national champion.
Really?
This 1965 Jaguar XKE's been 5-time national champion.
No kidding. Look at the muffler system on that thing. That is so cool. That is unbelievable.
Exactly how they came original.
No way, really?
That's how they were original, yep. This car's made national championship last year. I just finished it last year, so.
Really?
Well,
Well, I bet you that little sucker will fly, man.
Oh, it runs good. It rips.
But it does. That's insane. So cool. I love it. Now you say you got a car show in Cleveland coming up?
Yes.
Okay. You gonna be there for a little while, or? So this is where my buddy Ed Askey lived. I used to walk over to his apartment. He lived right here. The Canty, 1515. And I used to walk down this alley. And we would hang out. We were the closest buddies in the world. We did everything together. So this alley I would walk down, and my apartment is right over here. And I will show you where the apartment is so you can kind of see it. So this is the back of our apartments. And if you see that cellar door in the bottom, that's where I kept my 60 bicycles. So what I would do is I would buy bicycles in the middle of the winter time for $5 and $10. Sometimes I'd find parts out of the dumpsters and everything. And I would put the bikes together in that cold basement on the bottom in the middle of winter time. And then when the summer time came around, I would repaint them, redo the tubes, redo the tires, the brake cables, just paint the frames. I'd do everything with them, make them look like brand new. And in the summertime, I'd sell them for 60 to 90 bucks. I was 14 years old. So that's our apartment that we lived in. 1215 16th Avenue. I'm going to go around now and show you the front of it. So that'll give you kind of an idea. So this is the apartment that I lived in when I was young. I was maybe lived on the 3rd floor, way on top there. And this is 1215 16th Avenue in Altoona, Pennsylvania. And I had a buddy that lived right across the street named John Lear in this green and gray house right here. And him and I would motorcycle together. Him and I were the only people in the whole neighborhood that had motorcycles. And we'd ride together all over Pennsylvania. John Lear. Now, if we go up here to the left, we used to walk up to a playground and play basketball up here. And this is where I met Tom Fairball, which later became one of my stepbrothers. And we played up here. They lived right up over this little hill. Let's see, I'm just gonna keep recording to show you. And this is gonna be the first time I've seen it. Let's see if it's even there anymore. Look how steep these hills are, honey, isn't that crazy? There was a playground up here and a little school, and we used to come up here and shoot basketball. Oh, it's no longer there. It's now, oh, there's a school. Some type of a school. Look at these hills. There's a school, but I don't see a basketball court. It looks like a school. It could be something else. It looks like maybe doctor's offices. Now, I used to be able to go down this road, but they closed off this road. Look how steep these roads are. We used to be able to go down that hill with our bicycles. Look how steep that is. And Tom and his family lived down there. Him and Wayne were my best friends. We used to play basketball together. Crazy times, guys. This is so surreal, it's unbelievable, just the stuff I'm seeing. So anyhow, more videos to come. Okay, so this place you will find very, very interesting. So let me tell you a little story about it. When we lived on Grant Avenue, I started a jewelry business when I was 12 years old. I started to get so many customers that zone enforcement stopped by and said, you've got 6 and 8 cars parked out here all the time. You can't have this in residential. So I had to go out and find a store because my business grew so much. So I was then, at that time, 18 years old when I opened up my first jewelry store. My second one when I was 20, down in Temple Terrace, Florida. However, this store was opened when I was 18, started with nothing, a handful of jewelry and a little bit of money that I saved from my business all those years. And we started to rent a little store. And this is the store. I am in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and I'm sitting next to the store, my store, and I might be able to find the bolts where my sign was hanging. And in fact, I see the bolts. So let me turn this around so you can actually see it. Obviously, this building was built in 1924. But I rented this store from a Lebanese gentleman. His name was George. He was the kindest, most awesome landlord you would ever have in your life. He rented it to me for $200 a month. This was my main store right here, my main window, and I had on it Rainbow Jewelers, and of course my motto was the rainbow. I do set my bow in the sky to be a covenant between me and the earth, a promise from God that he would never ever flood the earth again. So this door was my door to go into my jewelry store. This was all lettered in beautiful gold leaf lettering, the Rainbow Jewelers. And those 2 lag bolts right there, if you can see them on the bricks, those lag bolts up there were my sign. And when I got successful here after about a year, I put up a $2,000 neon sign that was bigger than the whole corner of this window. The sign was probably 8 or 10 feet wide and about 5 feet high, and it was neon, it lit at night. And man, it got me so much business. So this is the building, guys. I'm actually touching my old store, which is insane. Now, remember, I'm almost 60 years old now. This was 42 years ago, okay? 42 years ago. Man, it's a triangular shaped building, which is really unusual. Very small inside. I had 1 counter, cash register, my jewelry repair area that I do my jewelry repairs. And it was just really cool. It's just a great, great experience. So I hope you enjoyed that little bit of a story, and we'll see you on the next video. So I remember when this Sheets was just a little rundown store, convenience store down at the corner. Now it's this massive, massive empire. It looks like they have their own restaurant, a bunch of stuff. They've just exploded all over the state of Pennsylvania. So there's Sheets. Well, we're gonna meet a lifelong friend, Ed Askey, which he was kind of my sidekick. We always palled out together. We're gonna meet here, and this is the first time we've seen each other in probably over 40 years. So we're meeting at Prime Sirloin Buffet, Bakery and Steaks. Looks like a really cool place. And it's very busy. Parking lot's really busy, so that's always a good sign. All right, it's live, so just watch your fingers because the lens is over here. All right, guys, so this is one of my great buddies and friends, and probably my brother growing up as a kid. Altoona, Pennsylvania, we used to hang out when we were pretty small, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you met me when I was...
You were 14,
15 years old.
12.
Yep. I've rebuilt a motorcycle at 16. Him and I rode it around for quite some time, checking out the chicks all over Altoona.
He got me in trouble all the time.
Got him in trouble a lot. But I haven't seen Ed for, I'll be 60 in September. I haven't seen you for probably
40.
At least 41, 42 years,
Yeah.
maybe. Probably. I moved down to Florida, I think when I was like 18 or 19. And just had a great time. Ed and I went everywhere. Station Mall, skating rinks, the
Canoe Creek.
the shenanigans in my dad's van that we borrowed. Dad, you didn't hear that. Canoe Creek State Park. Just had a blast all over Pennsylvania. Just had a really good time with the motorcycle and stuff, and the bicycles and everything we went through. So anyhow, I just wanted to share this with everybody and let them know that we came up here and we wanted to see one of my best friends, and felt like a brother to me growing up as a kid. He really literally felt like part of our family. He didn't feel like the next door neighbor, even though he was right down the alley and right up around the corner. So we were always hanging out together. So
Yeah.
if anybody saw us, they'd call us Mutt and Jeff. So we were always like side by side, but had a good time. So it's just great to see you, bro.
Same here.
Amen, man. Nice to see you. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next video. Next video from Pennsylvania. Goodbye for now. So here we are in Altoona, Pennsylvania, in the illustrious Logan Valley Mall. And this is the place where I grew up, but man, is this place empty. They built a second floor on this, so apparently there was a big fire here, the story goes, and a couple days later they started the second floor. So, I don't know if that was insurance money or what, but it's very interesting. So yeah, we're walking down the hall here, and there's like nobody around compared to Florida malls. Florida malls are packed. Anyhow, I just thought I'd share this with you. Ed Askey and I used to hang out here. We used to come over here quite a bit. Had a good time. Always fun. Of course, we were here when it was just the lower floor mall, but it looks like these floors are actually the same floors. I remember the pattern. Same exact floors. And that was 40 plus years ago. But man, there are so many stores that are closed. Almost every other store is closed down. There's no activity whatsoever. Very interesting. Why they built a second floor, I have no idea. Interesting though. Anyhow, Logan Valley Mall, folks. So this is the mall that I would borrow my dad's van. And we would, in the wintertime, we would wait until the mall closes, and Ed and I would come over, and we would do what we called Kojak turnarounds. So we would get the van in reverse out in the parking lots, and of course they didn't have any street lights in the middle of the parking lots. There was nothing to hit. I would ram the gas pedal down 40, 50 miles an hour in the snow, 2 or 3, 4 inches of snow, and I'd hit the emergency brake and lock up the back wheels and slide, do donuts, turnarounds, and we'd just laugh like fools while playing our music. Very interesting. Hey, look who that is. Who be that guy? Very interesting. Logan Valley Mall. Wow. Hey, we got live professional wrestling coming. Live professional wrestling coming to Logan Valley Mall. Okay then. You gotta do something to bring them in. Got to show you the sign. Wow, there's no one here. I can count I've seen like 20 people since we walked in the door. There you go. Live professional wrestling. Alrighty then. All right, hope you enjoy the rest of the video. We'll see you next time. All right, this isn't a Scooby-Doo bus, but it's actually pretty cool. It's a vending machine. It's one of those drop games. Kinda neat. Hey, look, it's got a little steering wheel and everything. Check that out. Oh, years ago in our ministry, we had a Volkswagen van, and it was the coolest thing. Brings back them memories, little tires and everything on it. Matilda, Phillipsburg, and I'll tell you some stories about that once we arrive, but it's the next exit. You'll find them very interesting. So this is the thriving metropolis of Port Matilda, Pennsylvania. So I went to Worth Euston Elementary School here, and I tried to find it. Of course, it's not here anymore. And that was when I had finished the 5th grade. Never saw the inside of a 6th grade classroom, and acquired my GED when I was 38 years old. So there's some interesting trivia for you. Us being gospel singers, doing 300 concerts a year, Dad was making too many pink slips to keep me out of school. So my older brother tutored me through a tutoring school called Calvert School from Baltimore, Maryland. And it was a state accredited school. I had to do my exams and tests and all that stuff. But that was my 6th grade, where I did my 5th grade in that school, and with Calvert School, and then I quit and never went back to school. So interesting. And then obtained my GED when I was 38 because I hated to quit school and not finish something in my life. So that was kind of cool. But anyhow, Port Matilda, folks, we just went through that. Tell you another little quick story. There was a little magic market. They called it a magic market on the corner back there, and I couldn't find the building. But the magic market, I went in there one time when I was about 6 years old, and I stole 2 candy bars. And when I got home, my dad found out that I stole the candy bars because I had no money, and he drove me back to the shop clerk, the store clerk, and apologize and give the candy bars back. And the guy, it impressed him so much that my dad would do that and bring me back to teach that little 6-year-old boy a lesson. He actually let me keep the candy bars that I stole and gave me 4 more. So I had tons of candy bars, but of course, Dad, you know, he let me know right off the bat that that was not the right thing to do. So yeah, I remember that. Anyhow, great memories here in Port Matilda, Pennsylvania. Good times. We lived a couple miles outside of Port Matilda, and I used to ride my mini bike when I got older. When I was about 9 or 10, I'd ride my mini bike down to the corner store because it was the closest place to get gas. And I would carry a 5-gallon gas can between my legs riding a mini bike, and a Pennsylvania Highway Patrol pulled me over and said, what are you doing there, young man? I said, well, sir, I'm just going down to get some gas for my mini bike so I can keep riding up on our country home. He said, you be careful now and stay off the highway. That was about it. And I used to wave at him when I'd see him and go down and get my gas. That was just kind of a thing then. Now that would not be very permissible. So anyhow, I thought I'd share that with you. Cool stories. We're going up right now to find my old homestead where we used to live on our 5-acre lot. I'm going to see if I can find it. So we'll talk soon. This is now called Shady Dell Road. And this is the road that I lived on with a 5-acre lot. Oh yeah, this is definitely it. Oh, that paved it. It was a dirt road when we were there. So I will show you where our homestead was, because it was on kind of a bank. And if you see this home right here, our 14 by 70 mobile home was right there where that house is. And we owned 5 acres there. There was horses, wild horses that used to run behind us. And there's a nice creek back there that my brother used to go back and fish. So their last name is Gummo. 195 Shady Dell Road. They have a nice property. But I actually cut this grass with our riding lawnmower, our tractor. And we had a big turnaround, and which is ironic because they have a turnaround on their driveway where we would turn around our bus. Dad built a driveway to turn around our bus because we had a big bus we used to pull down right next to the mobile home. And then over to the right was the Morgans, Todd and his little sister, Todd Morgan. And this road I've ridden on hundreds and hundreds of times with my mini bikes and motorcycles. The next home is the Rearichs, and they were kind of wealthy. They had a nice swimming pool, and they had all the ATVs and the mud bog units, the three-wheeled scooters, and they had quite a bit of money because they owned a farm, and they were called the Rearichs. That was their name. There's the bridge right there. We're coming up on the bridge right now that my little sister and I used to play on, and she would play filler up. So we'd ride our bicycles down here, and she had a little basket, a little flowered basket in the front of her bike, and I would take rocks and put I'd fill up like half the rocks in the basket, and I'd pretend I'd be cleaning her windshield and checking her oil and checking her tires. You know, I'd do a little ring, ring, you know, a little ring. And this is all new. This township building is new. Never saw that before. But this is the creek. This is the bridge right here that her and I used to play on. Wow, is this surreal? This is the creek that I used to play on. This is the creek right here.
Little waterfall.
Yep, little waterfall, yeah. That is so cool. This is a bridge that my little sister rode her bikes up to and played on. And she was maybe 4 or 5 with training wheels. And of course, I was 4 years her senior, so I would have been about 8 or 9. And I've been through all of these hills and mountains. Now this is an interesting story here. I had a Briggs & Stratton. My first mini bike was a Briggs & Stratton motor. It was a 5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton mini bike, and it was forest green with big metal flake in the tank, and it had flames on the side of the tank on the decal. And I used to come down this dump trail. They called it the dump hill because above this used to be the place where the sanitation trucks would come up and dump it down a ravine. That's a whole nother story. I'll share that with you. But I'd fly down this road full throttle, and I'd blow the motors. I'd blow the motors on my mini bike because it wouldn't go fast enough and it couldn't keep up with the speed. So I'd put a piston right out on the side of the crankcase. And my older brother Randy got tired of rebuilding my motors all the time. And that's when I went to a bigger motorcycle, and then I finally got my Yamaha 60 Mini Enduro. That was a 4-speed, and I could not blow that. I tried. That thing would do about 60 miles an hour. So yeah, I remember this. This is the dump road. Wow, all these woods. I've mountain climbed all through these with mini bikes, motorcycles. I've gone hunting. Chipmunks, squirrels, rabbits, blue jays, possums, raccoons, snakes. If it moved, I would shoot it. Unfortunately, I would take it out, and I'd line up stuff like a trophy. All I did was hunt in the woods. So my typical day, when I got a little bit older, I didn't start owning guns until I was about 10 or 12. I had a Remington lever action 22 where you loaded like 20 shells in the barrel, and I had a BB gun, a pellet gun, and I had a 22 Ruger pistol. And my typical day was carrying about 500 rounds up this dump trail with my mini bike, and I'd strap the Ruger on my side. I'd take a jug of water and an extra gallon of gas, and I would go up to this dump where these sanitation trucks would dump all of their garbage out of their dump trucks and dump it down a ravine. Well, they'd dump refrigerators, ovens, I mean, you name it, they would put them in these trucks. And I would take a big brick or a rock and throw them at the refrigerators, and the rats would scatter. Hundreds and hundreds of rats. And these suckers were the size of a small cat. They were big rats. And I'd pick them off with my Ruger. So my typical day was leaving like Rambo with about 500 rounds on me and my pistol with my mini bike, full tank of gas, and I'd meet a friend of mine named Chris Weller. He was about 8 or 10 years old with a big wad of chewing tobacco in the side of his cheek, had half of his teeth rotten out of his head from chewing for so many years. He was my buddy, he was my riding buddy up here, and would come up here and shoot the pistols. We had an absolute blast. So much fun. No, I want to go up to the top, honey. I want to show you the top. Anyhow, this is really cool. So very surreal for me here, guys. I'm reliving my past here. At least they paved this road. It used to be all dirt. So beautiful woods, lots of mountains, lots of trails, just great times. So this is ascending off of the hill from the dump, and over here is where Chris Weller lived, my buddy. And I would ride over to see him, and there was a massive German Shepherd. I mean, this son of a gun must have weighed over 100 pounds. And every single time I would ride my motorcycle over here, he'd come out and chase me. They didn't keep people fenced up. That is a barn. How we doing here? Yes, you're being recorded. Hey, horsies. Still got horsies over here. But this German Shepherd would chase me, and he ran one time so fast, he fell, tripped over something, and he was flying. And I was like full throttle to get away from him, because I know he would take out one of my legs. And he fell and tumbled like 15 times. And I looked in my rear view, and he got up and just shook it off and went back to his house. But every single time I would come over here, there was people that had this German Shepherd that just let him loose. And he would always come after me. He hated the sound of my bike. That's so funny. Saw a cow getting electrocuted trying to get out of an electric fence. That was close. He almost got on the road. But this is one of the big barns. I remember this barn. It was still here when I was here. Obviously they've built on a lot, but lots of farming up here in Pennsylvania. Wow, they got a lot of tractors. Wow, tractors all over the place. Got some beehives up there. You got some serious tractors. And that would be, is that horses or is that cattle? What is that?
Cows.
Is it cows? Okay. Wow, I remember this road so much. Dad always hated it when I came down on this road because it was a paved road. It was like really narrow, and lots of cars, of course, went through it to get back to the neighborhoods. But the dump road he allowed me on because it was a dirt road and no one ever used it. But I'd come over to see Chris Weller, my buddy, and I'd have to ride on this road. Dad didn't care much for that. I remember that very well. So Chris would usually meet me up at the dump and would just rendezvous up there at a certain time. There's a nice looking farm home here, a big farm we're coming up to. You can see all these mountains and all these ravines that I rode through. Obviously everything's really grown over. There's corn. Big corn farming up here. Boy, he's got a healthy looking stock too, doesn't he? So there was one farmer up here called the Liners, and this kid was about 300 pounds, and he taught me to work on his farm for a summer, throwing hay bales. We used to throw hay bales from his top level of his barn. He taught me a lot about farming, and he was a really nice kid. He was a couple years older than me, but he said, hey man, if you want some summer work and make some extra gas money for the bike, you know, we'll bring you on. And I learned a lot that summer just from working in his farm. And he was literally walking distance from our home. But I remember him because I was a little bit jealous of him because they were quite wealthy, and he had a CZ 400 Hadaka. Let me see, not a Hadaka. I don't know if it was a YZ or a CZ 400. And this thing was a huge motocross bike. I mean, it would eat everything in the valley. It would take any bike out here. The thing was so fast, and even as big a boy as he was, it would take him up at the side of the mountain like nothing. But he was really good kid. His name was John Liner. Brings back a lot of memories working on the farm up here. Learned a lot about farming through it. Milked some cows and fed some pigs and threw lots of bays of hail. Yeah, bays of hail. Hails of bay. Hails of hay, thank you. Yeah, we're gonna get it right. Oh, guys, I'm so surreal with this right now. This is living, you know, 45 years ago, almost 50 years ago when I saw these places, and it's just so cool. It brings back so many great memories. We're on Reese Hollow Road, which is where Chris Weller lived, so I remember this road very, very well. And I don't remember all the farms because there's quite a bit of farms that we passed, but this is very, very cool. So now we're going to GPS ourselves out of here. But I hope you enjoyed the videos, previous videos. This is pretty cool. We ran across a some kind of a motorcycle camping site, and back there they're teaching people how to ride bikes, or they're trying out new bikes. We're going to go back and see it. I'm just going to back up right here and turn around and kind of show you a little bit of it, but it's pretty cool. We just happened to cross it. It's like, let's go in, but it looks like a private event.
Maybe a cross-country race or something.
Well, it's possible because they're all half street, half trail bikes. So they are roadworthy, but they're mostly half street, half trail. So they're dirt, you know, like dirt bikes. They're not like street bikes.
Turn right on South Eagle Valley Road.
So you can see all the campers here. Big tent set up where they obviously eat or, you know, have meetings or whatever. But I saw KTM, and I see a lot of bikes down here. I'll show you a little bit the event. Here's another bike. Everyone's set up all of their camping stuff, which is really cool. So right here you'll see all of the bikes. So you can see here tons and tons of bikes.
Of course.
I mean, there's got to be 50, 60 bikes there, and there's like a course. Yeah, they got like a course set up here, which is really cool. Make life a ride. BMW Motorrad. Oh, wow. This is BMW Motorrad, so it's probably a training school how to cross country and use a half street, half trail bike. Very cool. We just thought we'd drive by. We happened to see it. So we're here at Martin's Garden Center, and they sell pond fish, perennials, corn, all types of stuff. But it's looks like a cool, they got cool greenhouses. You can just walk through each greenhouse. Oh, I like the outhouse, nice touch. Well, we got the sweet corn, half a dozen for $3.50. Oh yeah. Love that Pennsylvania sweet corn. All those pretty flowers. Very cool place. Man, this place is like a city. It's so big. It's massive. People with shopping carts just walking through the greenhouses. That's so cool. Little greenery station. All your pesticides and stuff. That is so cool. Shovels and pesticides. Now you want to see an old John Deere, here it is, boy. I'll tell you what, that thing is something else right there. That's a John Deere. Look at that flywheel. My goodness, look at that seat. Might have a few electrical problems with it, but other than that, it's a pretty darn good shape. I love it. Got all these different bowls, planters for the yard. We got some foxes, bear, cougar, mountain lions, Nittany lion, deer. Hello there, little buddy. Got everything imaginable. They're picking out fish over here. That's pretty cool. What an interesting place.
So big.
Yeah, they are. He's huge.
I think, yeah. Let's talk to Danny. We might be back for one or two. Actually.
He's huge. He likes your finger, doesn't he?
I know.
They're big and they're pretty calm. They're scared. What happens is whenever they get sick, Daniel, the owner of the place, he'll take them up and throw them in his pond.
Oh.
So
Oh man.
Look at that one.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Yeah, this white one's so pretty, Iris.
Yeah, and that one's like, hey,
So your tadpoles in there, those are gonna turn into what?
hi. Frogs like this guy.
Yeah, you're gonna.
You come in restrooms in Pennsylvania, you see a lot of this. I love it. Do everything for the glory of God. 1 Corinthians 10:31, sorry. Love it. Video of that. It's pretty. Is it a crepe myrtle?
Yeah.
What species is this? What is it?
Double dynamite.
There's the genus name. Very interesting. It's pretty though. It's beautiful. Got some pretty plants. I'll tell you what. He's busy too, boy. He's like, look out, Jack. I'm gonna get it. Look at him getting that. Dragonfly. That's pretty wild. And it actually is balances. And this balances. That's pretty cool. That's cool. This is such a cool place. Very interesting. Wow, they got some big stuff here too. Here comes the kids. It looks fun. All of this is pine, different pine. That's bizarre. And all of this is pine. These are pretty, they're like two-tone green. Wow. That's very cool.
Real Christmas tree.
Yeah, it is. That's true. That's so cool. Everything's $2.90. $2.90, $2.90, $2.90. Look at the different colors on that pine. That is so cool. Look how pretty though. Look how healthy. Wow. That's serious. Emerald green.
Look at this. This is a pine tree.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Look at that. That is so neat. What are the... Let me see. Interesting. Trees, trees, trees. They got everything here. You name it, they have it. Watering down the trees with a big old garden hose. Wow, some beautiful trees. It's a cool looking copper top. It is neat. Lighthouse. Got all types of stuff. Check out this rock. That's cool. That's neat. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Look at some of these chase lounges. All handmade. This one's $4.49. That is so cool. Look at some of these. This one's $5.99. $600 just for this chair. It's cool. There's an old truck right there, folks. Look in that dash. My goodness. Look at that. That is so cool. Little pumpkin. Cutie patootie. Look at these tables. That's a cool piece of wood there. It just needs to have polymer resin on it. Do the whole table. You coloring? Cool. You guys live here? Oh, you don't? Oh, okay. I thought you did. Well, that's cool. You want to see a little video camera? Look at that. You can see right in the camera. See? It's videoing it. Isn't that cool? Hello. And this place has everything. Look at these stones. So cool. What's that? Oh, really? By the pallet like that? That's cool. Man, we got about everything here. So this is Canoe Creek State Park, right outside of Altoona, Pennsylvania. I've come here many, many times with my Honda CB 350 street bike, and brought lots of people up here on motorcycle rides. It is a man-made lake and park, and it's very, very cool, but it is huge. We'll get some more pictures when we get down closer to it, but beautiful, beautiful park. Nice and quiet. No one to really bother you. It's pretty crowded on the weekends, or at least it was. Probably isn't anymore. But it's a cool place. It's pretty cool. Not only do you have changing stations in here, you also have full showers, hot showers. That is so cool. Check that out. In the men's restroom at Canoe Creek State Park. Little snack shack over here we're going to go over to. Yeah, electric boat motors only. That's interesting. And over here, I'll probably walk down to it. There's a little canoe rental place. You can rent canoes. I'll walk down later and show it to you. Little playground here. It's a man-made beach. Brought the sand in, and they made this swimming area. But this is really a cool place, especially for boating. It's really a lot of fun. So we are at Canoe Creek State Park, and I've been on this beach many, many times. It's really kind of cool. It's a man-made beach. They brought in hundreds of truckloads of sand and actually created this beach, which is really kind of cool. Got a nice little playground down there, and then they got areas there where that they marked off for swimming. Has a big warning sign up there though in the back: don't drink the water. If you feel ill, you can take a sheet to the hospital, and it has a sheet that tells you the closest hospital, and there's a 911 phone up there. So, thought that was interesting. But yeah, kind of a cool place. It's very well maintained. It's state owned. My buddy and I would rent canoes up here, and you can take canoes around the lake, which is really cool. And there's a couple of them out there. The canoe rental's over there. I'll probably walk over there later and check it out. But yeah, Canoe Creek State Park, beautiful, right between the mountains. It's quite a hilly place to get up here, but it's so cool. We used to come up here so many times on the motorcycle. So I hope you're enjoying the video so far. We're getting a lot of scenery here from my past childhood, which is really cool. But hope you've been enjoying it. So yeah, Canoe Creek State Park. We're up here having a blast in Pennsylvania. We'll see you soon. So I got me one of them loaded hot dogs, and man, this thing looks delicious. Fresh onions, beef, cheese, man, it's a monster. And then you can't ever go wrong with mozzarella sticks. Oh yes. So again, we're here at Canoe River State Park near Altoona, Pennsylvania. And I'm walking down to the boat rental area. This is a man-made lake. You could rent canoes here, and I've done it many times before as a kid. You can ride all around the park in the canoe. There's outboarders also out there on the other side. Then there's a rental place right here. We're gonna cut over. We go fishing here. We got inner tubes, little swim area. Got badminton up here. Beautiful day out today. A little windy, but it's nice. So down here is the boat rentals. Got a little playground here for the kids, which is cool. People just hanging out. Today's on a Friday, so in the afternoon, obviously a lot of people are working, so it's very, very bare. But on the weekend, this place really gets popping. There's the little playground. Down here is the boat rental. Here's some advertisements and announcements, I guess. Young lungs at play. This is a tobacco-free zone. Welcome to Pennsylvania State Parks. Park hours. Use of metal detectors allowed at Canoe Creek Park. Please stop by the park office to register and receive park policy. So apparently you can have them, but you have to stop by and register. Alcoholic beverages prohibited. You gotta tell that to Florida beaches. Very cool. Here's the park rental. A couple more scenes there of the water. Let's go down by the water a little bit. Show you around a little bit here. Really cool park, nice and quiet, very peaceful. And you can tie off your canoe right here if you want to. There's a couple of people out there in canoes. I think they rent them by the hour. Most of them do. Let's see, let's walk over here. No fishing within 100 feet of boat docks. Okay, looks like they do have little John boats here too. So you can rent those too, I guess. It's kind of cool. Got canoes, regular John boats. Very neat. Got one there with a motor on it. Oh, they do have paddle boats. Let's just take a look real quick. See what they've got. Here's boat rentals. Oh yeah, they got paddle boats. That's cool. Oh yeah. What a cool place. Lots of eagles around here. Okay. And this is coming from a different direction of the park. So while we're walking, let me tell you a little story. I saw a web museum in Altoona. And the Web Museum is a barbell company, bodybuilding company that was active back in the day when I lived here. And for the first time in my life, I entered a contest, Teenage Mr. Altoona, if you will. And unbeknownst to me, didn't think I'd win anything. I actually came in first place. I was, I'm going to say 17 or 18. And the photographer of the contest, his son always won it. Took it every single year. And I beat him out. Went down to 4% body fat. Believe me, that was an irritable time, because if you know anything about pre-training, for 6 weeks you have no carbohydrates, no fats, no sugars, nothing. Your body literally shreds every speck of fat off of it while you're training. And I was training twice a day. I was in the gym twice a day for the contest. But very interesting. So I saw that museum in Altoona, and I thought, wow, that brings back memories. I think I still have the ribbon somewhere in a box of something. I think I still have it back home. But yeah, very interesting, very cool. So I thought I'd share that with you. Well, I just passed the Lakemont Park area.
Use the right lane.
It was one of the oldest amusement parks in all of Pennsylvania. The roller coaster was over 100 years old, all made of wood. Very interesting. So we passed it, and it's looks like it's permanently closed, and all there is now is doctor's offices and stuff like that. So we didn't even stop and take a picture of it. Now we're heading to Horseshoe Curve. There we go, Horseshoe Curve National Historic Landmark, 3.5 miles. Heading to Horseshoe Curve, one of the sharpest, steepest U-turns that a steam engine could make in the United States. Pretty impressive. Wait until you see it. Dam, and it's a massive reservoir, and it holds water. You can see the dam right here. This is going up towards Horseshoe Curve. I remember this as a kid riding by this. Altoona Water Authority Lake Altoona Reservoir. The thing is huge, and they open up that dam and lets a lot of water down there. Okay, so here we are at famous Horseshoe Curve, National Historic Landmark. Railroaders Memorial Museum, Inc., Altoona, Pennsylvania. Yeah, my daddy used to work here. He used to work at not here, but he worked at the railroad. So here's another sign here at Horseshoe Curve, and it's a massive museum now. So we're going to go through it and find out what's involved to get to the top. So we're up here at Horseshoe Curve, and the incline is down. Unfortunately, here's the track to the incline, which would have been really cool, but we're going to take the steps. Oh yeah, here's a train coming around the bend, coming around Horseshoe Curve. We're going to get up there and probably see another one, but there is a train coming around right now. And we're going to head up quite a bit of steps. I think there's like 160 steps, something like that. But it's quite a bit. Train coming around that bend. That is really cool. Trying to get up there closer for you so you could see it, but there's the curve coming all the way around that mountain. One of the steepest, sharpest corners a steam engine could make. We're going to go down there and tour that museum a little bit too. So we'll show you some of that. That's going to be really cool. But that train is still coming around that bend. Look at that. There we go. Caught him just before he left. There's the tracks of the incline that happens to be out. Sorry I'm out of breath, folks. Took 2 steps at a time there. People going back down. It's quite a bit of steps. I thought it was 160. It's a lot more than that. It's probably 300 or 400 steps. So you better be in good shape when you climb it. Beautiful mountains. Look at these mountains. Look at these cliffs. Might be another train come through before we leave. Well, there's engine 7048. When I was here as a kid, they had a steam engine up here, and they had moved it. It is not here anymore. There was a massive steam engine you used to be able to go through and climb on. Then they put a gate up around it. And now they just have this diesel engined locomotive, number 748, Pennsylvania. Here we go. Tells you the story right here. For 28 years, the Pennsylvania State Locomotive K4 number 1361 rested atop the Horseshoe Curve. When it was removed in 1985 to restore its operation, the Pennsylvania Railroad 748 became the site's trackside monument. So I used to climb on this all the time when I was a kid. These railroad ties. Yeah, look at this rock formation on the side of Horseshoe Curve. That's impressive. And it goes all the way around, 3 tracks. So I'll give you a really cool story about the Horseshoe Curve, and it's about my dad. So when he was about 16, which obviously was before labor laws were in effect, he worked for the Pennsylvania Railroad in the roundhouse. In the roundhouse, you would pull a locomotive in and you would spin it around 180 degrees and you'd pull it back out, and they would service it while they're in there. Well, my dad was an oiler. He had a massive oil can as a little 16-year-old kid, and he would go around all those wheels and he would oil them. He would grease them and oil them. And that was my dad's job at the Pennsylvania Railroad. I just thought I'd share that since we're at Horseshoe Curve. So that brought back a lot of memories for me. Horseshoe Curve, National Register of Historic Railroad Landmarks, 1854 to 2004. Wow. Look at some of these train wrecks. These will blow you away. Pause the video if you need to. Look at that.
Okay, this one's Bobby. Looks like I've been in that car. Thank you.
Look at some of these steam locomotives. These are the ones my dad would have oiled. And big track tires in the back. Here's a picture of the curve. I think it's cool. You can really see it right there. Look at that.
No, this showed the whole thing, the whole horse.
Here it's talking about the men who built the curve, the Horseshoe Curve. Wooden wheelbarrow, spike mule, D-handled shovel. Wow, that's wild. Look at that. That is so crazy. Amtrak conductors dress uniform. Wow, that's cool. 1850. Wow. Where's the curve? Oh, there's Crescent. I know where that is. There's Glitzen. That is so cool. Munster, Cambria, Ebensburg Airport. Wow. Where is the curve? Is it there?
This is where we are, but it's only half. Oh, I see. It goes that way.
Oh, okay.
That's not a horseshoe.
No, it's got to be somewhere around there, unless it's just a map. That's strange. I don't know. We have Benzel's Steam Pretzels, Altoona, Pennsylvania. Genuine Horseshoe Curve memorabilia on some food and some drinks. Curve beer. Altoona 36 Lager beer. That's hilarious. Curve baseball team. Wow, look at that. That is so neat. Benzel steam pretzels. This was 1924, and this is the actual Horseshoe Curve. Sorry about the, can't get the glare away, but it gives you an idea. There we go, maybe that'll help. There's some of the men that built it. Capital improvements. There's another view of the curve. There they are leaning around it. All the aristocrats, it looks like. That's so cool. There's when the locomotive was up here. Steam engine locomotive. World famous Horseshoe Curve. Opened for service in 1854. Oh, there's the Altoona mirror. Kirby Falls of Progress in Blair County. That's cool. All the train skills. Uh-oh. It's interesting, isn't it? Here's some great pictures. Wow, look how busy this yard is. This is the railroad yard. So the roundhouse is around, probably around here somewhere, and that's where Dad worked. Why doesn't it show a roundhouse? I don't see one. Oh well. That's an important part of keeping them maintained. Look at that thing. That's a slick looking thing, isn't it? Yeah, train. Very modern for its year. That's cool.
There was a time, not so long ago, when the only way to cross Pennsylvania was by foot. Over this rumpled landscape, not yet called Pennsylvania, the American Indians had worn many east-west paths. Probably by tracing the routes that animals had followed, the Native Americans found the paths of least resistance. Their trails wound along river valleys and connected with the passes that gave the easiest crossings of the Allegheny Mountains. The 1700s brought the European settlers and their new means of travel, horses and wagons. As for roads, the settlers recognized the directness of the Indian path and simply took them over. The old path grew wider, muddier, dustier, but not any better. In 1794, road technology took a modest jump forward. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania chartered a turnpike from Philadelphia to Lancaster. The paving of these curved roads could be nothing more than logs laid crosswise. The ride was rough. Still, it was better than being stuck in mud. By 1800, things were getting smooth. Canals, man-made waterways, were being built everywhere. Going by a canal boat was faster, cheaper, and far more comfortable than anything that had come before. There was just one hitch. Canal boats stopped when the waterways rose. But in the early 1800s, canals were seen as a boon to trade. The Erie Canal pushed through the interior of New York State to open trade with New York City. The Chesapeake and Ohio Canal did the same for Baltimore and Western Maryland. Pennsylvania entered the race with a state-owned and operated system combining canals and railroads. This route, called the Main Line of Public Works, linked the major east-west cities, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. To cross the state on the Main Line, passengers from Philadelphia rode overland in horse or steam-drawn rail cars to the beginning of the first canal at Columbia. Here, they boarded boats and followed the Susquehanna and Juniata rivers to Hollidaysburg. At Hollidaysburg, the barges were floated onto railroad cars. Then, without leaving their seats, passengers began the unlikely ascent to the crest of the mountain, towed by teams of horses, by steam locomotives, and, on the steeper inclines, by cables driven with stationary steam engines. Plopped back in the water at Johnstown, the traveler continued by canal to Pittsburgh. All told, a journey of 4½ days. Whoa. Compare this with a dusty 20 days in a wagon. But this was still too slow for the worried merchants of Philadelphia, who saw New York and Baltimore pulling ahead of the race for western trade. They persuaded the Pennsylvania legislature to authorize $30,000 to find an all-rail path across the state. 3 routes from Harrisburg to Pittsburgh were surveyed: the northern, middle, and southern routes. The middle route became the choice for construction of the Pennsylvania Railroad. In 1847, J. Edgar Thompson was appointed chief engineer of the newly established Pennsylvania Railroad. Thompson, an accomplished surveyor, set out to improve on the middle route. By following the Juniata River to Altoona, he was able to keep the approach to the mountains relatively flat. 5½ miles outside Altoona, Thompson and his crew were following a ridge into a deep valley when their path was barred by a mountain. This mountain, Katanning Point, divided the valley into 2 steep gorges. To the left across the valley, they surveyed another higher ridge that would carry the line. But how to get the tracks to that ridge? To go directly across would have meant building a huge bridge with an impossibly steep 4.37% grade. J. Edgar Thompson had an idea for a daring detour. He figured on gaining altitude by circling the valley. He and his men would route the tracks directly westward to the first ravine, Katanning Run, and build a huge earth hill to take the line across it. Then they would slice off the face of the mountain so the tracks could continue in a gradually rising semicircle, crossing the second ravine, Burgoon Run, by means of another great fill. That would put them on the ridge they wanted to reach. To accomplish this bold plan, conceived before the days of steam shovels and conveyor belts, the railroad imported 450 Irish mine workers and gave them only hand drills, black powder, picks, shovels, and wheelbarrows. As proof of the brilliance of Thompson's solution, Horseshoe Curve remains the essential conduit for east-west rail traffic. No change of alignment or elevation was ever needed. This registered historic landmark has never had a day off. It keeps on working exactly according to plan, even though the plan is older than the Civil War. Drawn by the spectacle of 100-car freight trains, pulled and pushed by teams of ground-shaking locomotives, metal wheels screeching on the curving rails, drawn by these sights and sounds, and by the stunning natural beauty of the valley, some 100,000 visitors yearly make their way to the curve. And they come here over a paved road that follows an old Indian trail.
That was cool. I'll see the next one. No. Find this very interesting. This is a one-lane underpass through a tunnel, one car at a time. This is really cool. This is right next to the Horseshoe Curve. One lane, folks. They gotta wait. And there's 2 cars behind me. I mean, they're way behind me. But that is so cool. It actually has a light that controls one vehicle at a time. That is so neat. Okay, so here we are sitting waiting on the light for the single car tunnel. So this light actually controls single cars going through. It's making other people wait. And we're going back through it again. Well, you don't want to take an RV through here, but sure would be fun on a motorcycle. Everything would be fun on the motorcycle up here. Anyhow, this is really cool. There's Horseshoe Curve. We just came from that. Very, very neat. Here they are playing soccer in a field, little park up by Horseshoe Curve.
They're doing drills.
Yeah, doing drills, yeah.